Joey. Welcome to my channel. I got my Potomac treasure box for the month of August 2025, and it's so great, you guys. It is called Purr and Polished, and it is a mix of black and white and silver and a little touch of gold. It's so beautiful. If you've never seen the treasure box before, it comes in this reusable box. It has a little magnetic clasp here, and you can make labels for these either here or on the top and really use them to organize your beads. I'm in a constant state of organizing, so I always love getting the box just as much as the contents of the box. But it's so beautiful, and I'm gonna go out of order a little bit because one of my, well, maybe my favorite thing in the box, and I bet I'm not going to be alone in this, there are these bead tech cats. So these will be exclusive to Potomac beads, and they are laser cut. Bead tech will either do acrylic or wood, but these are so cool. The little cat's head is laser cut out as well as his body, and then there's little holes for the jump rings, and I already assembled mine into an earring because I just couldn't resist. But let me show you how they come. So it will look kind of ugly when you get it, but if you just pull this paper off, it's just a peel away protective coating, and you reveal the beautiful perfect laser cutting underneath and the holes for connecting, and they protect both sides. So you just really want to get it started. I usually use my pliers and it comes right off. So in the interest of time, I already peeled the head of the cat. And then what's really cool is it came with these gunmetal jump rings. So the cat is articulated. So let me show you the one that I put together. The cat is articulated, but the jump rings kind of blend right in with the black cat. And then from here, you could do all kinds of embellishments. You could use some E6000 glue and put some little flat back crystals on this cat. You could do so much with him. I even was playing with a crystal rondelle spacer for like a diamond collar, and I even have some of these left over from a project that have a little hole in them that could be attached to the top jump ring if you wanted your kitty cat to be hanging from a bow. But in the end, I said, you know, he is just so cute, and I just thought he just stands alone. So I'm going to do earrings in today's video, and a few of them. So I'll, assemble that when we get started on the earrings. But let me show you what's in the box. So this is absolutely gorgeous. This is a black diamond 18 millimeter Rivoli crystal. This is so awesome. One of my things that I'm working on behind the scenes is getting better at bezeling stones, and you can certainly do that with this. But if you have any filigree things, back plates, or things you want to use for, like I just happen to have one here, but if you have any kind of a filigree like this, you can also glue this onto a filigree. There's all different shapes and sizes of those. That one just happened to be sitting off to the side, but this, how gorgeous is that? I have a little lotion on my hands, and I'm putting fingerprints on everything, so I'm sorry about that, but it's so beautiful. And then we got some Potomac crystal rounds that are 4 millimeter. I think I'll grab a piece of wire so that I can show you some of these things. These are so pretty and so classic. These have a really nice size hole. This is a piece of 20 gauge wire, and these have that opalescent look to them. I love getting those. That's the kind of a bead that you can have 10,000 of them and always use them. And then we got some round duo check glass beads. So these are in a really pretty hematite, and it is a round bead, but they're, I don't know if you can see the other hole, but there are 2 holes. So you can really have fun creating negative space with those. And then we got some check glass smooth rounds, and these are so cool. These are 10 millimeter beads, and let me see if I can find one. They have a little faint, very faint, this one you can see it better, very faint texture on them. Can you see right there? So the wash that goes over this pretty cloudy gray, you can kind of see it on there. It's really, really pretty. That's a cool bead too. And then aren't these wonderful? These are also check glass. These are rectangles in this beautiful opaque white. It's so pretty. This almost looks like tile in an old Victorian kitchen where everything was just so white and clean and crisp. I love that. There's a little color variation, like this one actually has a bit of a shell color running through the middle. This is just beautiful glass. This would be really pretty with any kind of an oceanic theme. And then this is probably my other favorite thing in the box. I love these. I really want to do a bracelet. I'm going to come back in another video because I've designed at least three pairs of earrings and 3 bracelets, and I think this is going to be maybe even in 2 of my bracelets. I think this bead is gorgeous. This is also check glass, and it's just a beautiful opaque white oval bead, and it reminds me of the milk glass from the era. Well, it started in the industrial era when, you know, middle class and even lower class people financially could have something that looked like the porcelain that the wealthy people had. And I've always loved milk glass for that reason, because I'm always in the middle lower class, and it's just so pretty and clean, and you know, it's not plastic, but you get kind of that, it mimics that porcelain. And so in beads, I really love it. And when I was in Venice last year, in Murano in Italy, I visited a glass museum, and milk glass goes way, way, way back, like hundreds and hundreds of years. So when I see beads like this and this, I just think they're amazing. I just love them. And then we got these beautiful Athena cast. They're rather large hole, but these are Athena cast. Oh, I can't hold on to it. Athena cast little silver plated metal ball spacer beads. And like I say, they have a really nice size hole, so you could really use those for anything. They're going really nicely on 20 gauge wire. That is so beautiful. And then we got bezeled chaton. So a chaton is a crystal, and they have prong set them into a setting. And so when you turn it over, you have the little hole here, so that allows the crystal to sparkle, just like when they set diamonds, when a jeweler sets diamonds. But you can string either way, across this way or up and down. There are 4 holes, or use both of them. And again, 20 gauge wire, and it's going right on there. So you don't have to run needle and thread through these. You can do bead stringing wire. You can wire these. So, so pretty. Let me see if I have it here. I recently had done a bracelet. Let me just go behind me. I do have it. I recently did a video on this bracelet, and these are a smaller version of that I sewed on top of my bead weaving pattern to give it some sparkle. And it's just beautiful. I mean, look at that bracelet. It's so beautiful. You can just do so much with those. I'm glad I had this handy so I could show you in case you didn't see that video. I can even link that video in the description box if you missed it. And then we have this, which is you'll see me using these in my next video. These are super duos, and they are a mix. They're not going on this 20 gauge wire, but they are a mix of jet and bronze. I was wanting to say gold, but I was pretty sure it was bronze, but it even looks a little bit coppery. So like this one is jet. Let me get one of the bronze ones so you can see. Just pick up a couple of them and put them in my hand. So it's, let me just get a couple in my hand so you can kind of see them. There. Isn't that a beautiful color combination? And you know what I love? I'll show you when we get to it, but they have popped this box with silver and with purple. And so you could really put, it's so neutral and so rich, you could really put anything with this box. And then we got 3 of these gorgeous check glass nautilus shells with the silver wash. Whoops, I have a bead stuck to me. With the silver wash. There's only 2 in my dish because I've done my sample earring, but look at this gorgeous bead. And I don't know why, but I just think this is very boho, but you don't see a lot of black boho jewelry, and I just love that. I also have to say with this box, as we go through, that it is mostly black and white and gray and silver, and I could not help myself. I had some little disc spacers here in a multicolor pack, and they actually had some white in it. And I couldn't help myself but thinking that if you have anything colorful that you would like to add into this box, which I will often pretty much always personalize whatever bead box I get with something from my stash to make the projects, you know, like my signature. But you could do multicolors. If you had like a fabulous red strand of beads that you love, you could add that into this box. They've added some purple, so purple would be a great add in to this, even like a bright green. I mean, there's so much. For me, even hot pink would be beautiful with the black and white and silver. And like I said, the multicolor, and even mixing in the coppers and the golds and the silvers, and just like mix up all the metals. I kept thinking that as I was setting up for my video, I kept thinking that this box is beautifully curated just the way that it is, really neutral, but you could have so much fun with beads from your stash with this as well. Okay, let me stop talking and keep unboxing. We also got two of these, and again, one of mine is missing. It's not missing, it's in a sample. We got two of these beautiful cones. They're a pewter, and they're just in cone caps. And you know, these are wonderful if you want to make tassels, and we have seed beads in the box if you wanted to make a really beautiful tassel pendant for something. And I do that a lot with my cones. Also, multi-strand bracelets, like if you want to feed all your strands into the cone and put your closure here, they're great for that. But I'm doing something even more different than that today. And then this is also from the Athena cast line. This is a multi-loop tube clasp, and some of them don't have magnets, but this one does. So you can, let's see if you can hear it click. It has a little magnet in the end, so it just gives a little extra security. And if you're not familiar with Athena cast, it's comparable to Tiara cast. All of the metal findings, or most of them, are made in Greece, and it's very, very high quality. Cannot hold on to anything today. Very high quality. The plating is fabulous on the Athena cast pieces, so that is just wonderful to get. And then let's see, did I miss anything? Super duos. Oh, we got gorgeous fleur-de-lis check glass pieces in here. These have the drill hole going straight up the top. And if you guys know me at all, any of you that know me, you know that pretty much any check glass flower is just a love, love, love. And then I am crazy over this. Absolutely. This is another one of my favorite things in the box. This is a 4mm black onyx gemstone strand, and there is a nice long strand, and I'm not going to cut it open for today's few projects, but when I come back in my next video, we'll be working with this. I love the way gemstones feel against the skin, and this is just one of my favorite. I love working with 4 and 6mm beads. They're just absolutely beautiful and such a great spacer, like, you know, in between the oval beads or really anything, but that is just an absolutely gorgeous strand. And then we got 3 of these check glass drops that have the silver wash. I have a video that I did last year sometime where I turned these into cats. So you can turn this into a component by putting, I have a burr on the end of my wire here, so it doesn't want to go through, but you can make a cat tail with wire here. You can put seed beads, which is what I did in that video, and then you can do a simple loop at the top. And if you wanted to get more kitty cats out of this box, you could use these for the cat body and then add the little kitty cat head to this, and then do a beaded, a bead for the head of the body. Does that make sense? You could use a bead for the top of the body. I mean, I kept mine together because they're just so cute and so fun. But if you wanted more kitty cats, you definitely could. And I am not going to do this, but when I was designing my earrings for today, I toyed with making a really contemporary earring by wiring this inside this cone for a really cool pair of earrings. And I can't tell you how much I love that with the silver wash here and this beautiful textured silver cone. I really love that. I ended up using my cone for another style of earring, but that's just an idea for you, so you could totally do that and it would be really, really stunning. Okay, and then I love that we got this. This is so cool. These are Miyuki seed beads in 8/0 in this beautiful silver color. These are so uniform because they are Miyuki, so let me get a couple on my wire. They're so uniform. They're just like, they're just seed bead perfection. And this color is just the perfect silver. It's very bright and happy. It's not an aluminum looking silver that's gray and dull and, you know, maybe a little sad. It's a very bright, happy, almost sparkly. I love this seed bead, and I am going to be using that in my projects. And then I had dumped out some of the Azuki 80 seed beads here, and I love that Potomac beads almost every month. I can barely remember a month getting this box where there wasn't a seed bead in the box, which I love about this box. And they have put, you know, a couple of seed beads in it this month, but look at the beautiful color. This is that iris mix, so beautiful. And you know, if you know me a little bit, I just think that seed beads are like the eggs, butter, milk in a kitchen. Any project, you need seed beads, you know, for finishing loops, for spacers, to make little components. They're just, the possibilities are endless. And I do think sometimes if you're not a needle and thread seed beater, that they get overlooked. So I love it that the team at Potomac Beads always puts seed beads in our box, pretty much always. And let's see, did I miss anything? I'm so excited to get started. I think that I shared everything. Okay, let me just clean a little space here and let's do some projects. Okay, the little kitty cat is so easy to put together. Once you peel the paper off, you know, you can really just connect it, but you can have fun with these. And so the other thing is, if you want to do your earrings exactly the same, you can connect them like that, but I like to mirror my earrings. So that's just a little tip. If you want to have your kitty cats look like a mirror image, you can do it that way, and that's what I'm going to do. And I just have to say here, you know, I've always loved vintage things, and around in the 30s and 40s and maybe even up to the 50s, maybe some of you guys remember that in home decor back then, silhouettes were a really big thing. And I remember even when my son was little, taking him to one of the theme parks here in Florida, and they did a silhouette where they cut it out of black paper and frame it. I had a wonderful dear aunt. She was like a mother to me, and she collected silhouettes from auctions and from antique shops and antique malls. And so when I saw these little cats, it reminded me of that kind of vintage thing. But these are so cool. I just want to close that really well. But see how cool the gunmetal jump rings that came with the cats? They sort of disappear, but then your cat is articulated. So I just really think these are just amazing. I love these. I would love to have another pair of these, as I said, to play with some other ways of connecting them. So I'm going to take this ear wire and have it ready, and I'm going to put my jump ring through the top hole in his head. And these ear wires that I had, they have a front facing closure, so they were perfect for these earrings, because otherwise if you have an earring connection that goes in the other direction, you would need to add another jump ring to the top, or if you're making your earrings, turn that loop so that your kitty cats stay facing forward. So it's super easy connecting and really fun. And as you see while I'm chatting, there are these gorgeous little kitty cat earrings. So from my stash, I also have this little decorative silver head pin and an ear wire, and I have a piece of 20 gauge wire, and I'll show you the other two earrings. My samples are done. So this is what I decided to do with the cones, is just make them really contemporary, almost teardrop shape, very dangly, and you know, bold but still classy. And then I took one of the Nautilus shells, and I really wanted to feature the shell. So this is a little bit of fancy wire work. You don't even see my wire, but the wire that is going through the shell has also become the ear hook. And so if you turn it over, it's super clean and neat. But I'll show you how I did this to make an all-in-one earring drop. You don't need an ear wire for this, just your 20 gauge wire. I'm using anti-tarnish, and that is just like the best earring. I didn't quite finish my ear hook. Those of you who've seen me do this before, you know why, because normally I like to make these at the same time And I did this sample yesterday when I received my box. So I'll do my best to copy it. For me, I forget so quickly what I do in my design because I rarely like repeat the exact same design over and over again. And I have to say something else here. We have a dear friend. Her name is Sharon Rolland. And if you guys are comment readers, you have probably seen that she is an earring maker and she is on like 220 pairs of earrings at last count. I was teasing her and I said, Sharon, should I send earring making intervention because this addiction might be a little out of hand? So I kind of want to dedicate these earrings to her because when I started to make earrings in this video, that's all I could think about is her comments. Under every one of my videos, she watches and she'll tell me, what her total is that she's at. It's so cute. She loves to make earrings. So Sharon, maybe you will get some kind of inspiration or idea from what I'm doing, although I don't think you need it, but maybe you will. Okay, let's do this really easy one. I just took this fancy ball head pin and this 10 millimeter. To me, this is so pretty because it's gray and kind of silvery, this bead. And when you put it right up into that bead cap, it's almost monochromatic, but you get like all the different textures and it's just lovely. And then I'm gonna top this off with one of those crystals. And my head pins, don't leave me a whole lot of room then to get my simple loop. So you could use your one-step looper, but I'm just going to bend this wire with my pliers and get in here and get a loop in there the best that I can with my pliers here. Even get my nylon jaw pliers to help me bend it around because it's a little short. But I felt like I'll show you that it can totally be done if you have shorter wire. And like for me, I do my simple loops when I do them by hand. I do them this way. And I want to get it wrapped a little bit more before I trim it. So I'm just going to like pull this in front of the bead a little bit. Now I can just close it and straighten out my little loop, and it is ready for my ear wire. So again, it's stunning. My two favorite words in jewelry, simple and stunning. And if you need some items for a craft fair or for a website that are really beautiful and elegant and look expensive, but don't have a lot of expensive things involved in making them or time, these types of things are just wonderful. You can really build up a great inventory. And the last one we're going to do is super easy as well. So I didn't even measure. I just took a little bit of 20 gauge wire. I chose silver because the silver wash on the Nautilus shell is really, prevalent. You could mix metals though. And I'm just going to smooth and warm this, and I'm going to also mirror these earrings. So let me get it like that. And it's not wrong. I heard somebody on YouTube the other day say that they don't like the mirrored earring. They want them identical. But for me, wherever possible, I try to mirror them. With wire working, it's not always possible, but that's what I like to do. So for when you're making your ear hook all in one, it's really important to know what the front of your design is going to be. So I'm going to push that in about like that, a little less than halfway, and this is going to be the front of my earring. So I'm going to, let me get this straight. So I'm going to come here and fold this straight up the back of the earring toward my other wire, so it meets the other wire. And then I did this yesterday, so okay, that's correct. Because what I will do, I normally advise to do your earrings together so that you get them the same, but I'm going to do the exact same number of wraps. See how I just have 2 wraps here? So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm wrapping from the opposite direction since I mirrored my earrings. You can use your pliers if you need to, and since I know that this is the front, I'm going to stop my wrap in the back and come right here and snip that wire. And just like any wrap, just tuck the end so when you run your finger over it, there's nothing sharp there. Also, you don't see it when you tuck it. Okay, and just get this nice and straight. Do it with nylon jaw pliers. And I just topped it off with one of those Athena cast silver ball spacer beads just for a tiny little bit of architecture. Can't find the hole. Okay, and I'm keeping it to the front now. And you know, really important to know what the front of your earring is. And I'm going to come here right above my spacer bead and bend this wire toward me about 45 degrees, but you really just want to check and make sure that it's keeping your topper bead in place. That's the purpose of that. Now you can really use any bail making plier that you want. I use all different ones. You can make this really small. You can use the small one, the medium one. Sometimes I even use my 6-step bail making plier and use my largest bail because I want like a really contemporary, like swooping ear hook, but I used this one for this guy. So all you want to do is, again, know what your front is and put your bail making plier in there with everything perfectly straight and lined up. This has a little bend to it. You can straighten a little bit after your ear wire is made, but it's so much better if you start with everything nice and straight. And I'm just going to wrap this over that back barrel and bring it to the back so it looks like that. And when I take it off, essentially my ear wire is done. And so I'm just going to match these up and snip so that they are the same length. Right about there. And now you can really form this any way you want. You could leave it like that if you want, but I like to come with my flat nose plier and line that up and just kick it out slightly. It just looks really pretty to me. But if you could look in the marketplace, ear wires take all shapes and forms. You can be as artistic with ear wires when you're making them as you can anything else. So I did want to show you, I have a battery operated reamer and I don't have the reamer on. I have the wire rounder. It's a little cup attachment on the end, but you can also use like a metal buffing block that you take the patina off paint. You can also, I always link this little set of tools. I'll show you this. It has some little hand reamers and different shape things, and you can, honestly, you can even use like a metal nail file to take the sharpness off the end of your ear wires. You really want to do something to take those cut ends away, but my favorite way, I'm a little bit of a jewelry toolaholic, is to just fit my wire in this cup and press the button. See, to me, that is just the perfect professional finish. That's just wonderful. And again, if you're making inventory for a website or a craft fair, that is just like super fast and, you know, not expensive to make. It's not bead heavy, but it's stunning. And, you know, it's not something that a non-jewelry maker, they're going to look at that and really not know how you accomplished this earring. But they aren't that hard, as you can see. So look at these three gorgeous, stunning pairs of earrings. I'll put some better pictures up at the end. And if you're interested in subscribing to the Potomac Treasure Box, I always have a link in my description box for the Potomac Treasure Box, and they also have another subscription box if you like to do patterns and you like kits where everything is pulled together for you. It's called the Kit Edition. But I also always remind people that the Potomac Beads website is amazing for seed beads, for crystals, for check glass, for buttons, for the Athena cast line. The website is highly organized and it just goes on and on and on. And my favorite product for anti-tarnish is also available through them, the Permalac Coating. So if you use my link to access the website and you decide to make a purchase, it helps out my channel. So that would be really sweet of you to do that. It doesn't change the prices or do anything for your purchase. And also I hope you'll subscribe to my channel because I do have 3 more projects planned with this box, and then you won't miss the notification. Thanks for watching, everybody. Drink lots of water. It's August, it's hot, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.